Hello, beautiful woman. I'm Anna Rova. I'm the founder of Claimed, and I help single, successful women like you attract committed masculine men. And in this video today, we are going to talk about money and your money story, and most importantly, what does investing in yourself on a high level have to do with attracting great men? So let's start and begin with your money story in general, and where do you spend your money? Everybody has a money story around, your beliefs about money and so on and so forth. And I'll share with you mine, but I wanted to create this video particularly for those women who struggle with investing in themselves on a high level. For example, when I was doing discovery calls with women who were considering joining my program and working with me, I could hear them say that they have no problem investing in a Gucci bag or a Prada bag, which is a few $1,000s, or going on an expensive holiday to Mexico. But they had a problem investing in a program, for example, that costs that $5,000, right? So in fact, I remember one particular woman said, I can't join your program because I just paid, $3,000 for a Gucci bag. And for me, I was just sitting there and I couldn't believe it because, I could believe it because I understand that people have their money stories and they have their priorities. But I was sitting there and looking at this woman and thinking to myself, you just told me that this area of your life, the dating and relationships area of your life, is the biggest pain and the biggest struggle right now for you. You're telling me that you're going to bed at night thinking about how long are you going to have to wait until you meet a great man and start a family. And yet you're telling me that you are more willing to invest in a Gucci bag than in a personal growth transformation program that will help you elevate your mindset, your beliefs, and your body, so you can attract an amazing man who will buy the damn Gucci bag for you and who can take you to Mexico on a trip, right? But the thing is that I also know that this is my job to help this woman understand, and she's where she's at and I'm where I'm at, and that's totally fine. So we're all making choices, and in no way I want to judge that woman's choice, and in no way I'm going to tell you, well, you shouldn't buy that bag and you should join my program. But with this video, I just want to perhaps share with you and maybe create some resonance here about how I think about investing in yourself and my own personal journey with it. Because for me, every year, especially for the last two years that I've started the program, and I've been working with women for a few years now, and every year I'm up leveling. And I'm up leveling from the point I went from, I'm telling you right now, I was born in the poorest country in Europe. So I went from having almost nothing and for downloading things for free, like movies and stuff, and never paying a cent for a program, even for books. I was always downloading books for free. I went from that to investing $30,000 in a, business and personal development program, right? So how does someone go from wanting everything for free to going to a place where she invests on a high level, right? And so for me, I first and foremost had to look at my money story and what does that mean for me. And I also had to look at where am I investing? Because I can tell you that to this day, I don't have a Gucci bag, not because I don't want to, but because for me, I'm really careful with where I'm putting my money in, right? And I know that the Gucci bag and all of that is coming, but for me, what I prioritize is my personal growth. And I'll explain to you why, because, it's not about the money. It's what you can do with it. It's your money mindset. It's your money beliefs. And so I can tell you right now that the biggest investment that you can make is actually an investment in yourself. And I've always prioritized that, because the biggest asset that you have is actually not the real estate or properties or your Gucci bag, right? It's the investment in you, because you are the common denominator in everything. And your mindset about money and your self-worth is directly proportionate to what you attract in your life and what kind of men you're attracting in your life. So I'm going to talk about men in a second, but I really want you to think about Where do you spend your money? Because that is actually showing you what are your priorities in life and what do you value. So for example, going on holidays and buying expensive bags and expensive clothes and shoes and everything, that's all great. However, that's just investing in how you look. And that makes you feel a certain way, but it almost always makes you feel a certain way to a certain extent, and then you want more and more and more. Especially for women, you know, when we buy all these fancy stuff, for example, right? It's almost like a superficial, not for everybody, for somebody who has achieved that wealth consciousness, right? When a woman is like, I'll buy a $3,000 Gucci bag, but I'm also investing $50,000 in myself every year, right, on personal growth, that's a completely different story. I'm talking about you've been saving up, let's say, for an expensive bag or to go on a holiday. Yeah, so that says what's important to you. And you have to realize and understand that no matter how many Gucci bags you're going to buy, go on expensive holidays, if you do not invest in you, first and foremost, you're not going to grow, right? So ask yourself and look at what do you value and what's most important to you. And I can tell you my story. So as I told you before, you know, because of my money mindset that I had to work with, I was the girl who wanted everything for free, who was signing up for all the shit and commenting on these Instagram rallies about take a friend and maybe you'll win stuff, right? Like playing the lottery game that maybe I will win, doing all my shopping on sales and I was downloading movies for free, books for free, never in my life, well, before that, paid for a course or anything. And in fact, I was working for a big personal growth company as a marketer in my past life. And I had access to so many books and personal growth programs and everything. I had a huge hard drive of I don't know how many gigs with everything that I didn't pay for. And guess what? I didn't use any single program from that drive up until this day. Why? Because it was free. Because I did not work for it. Because I did not put my dollar and I did not commit my time, my energy, and my money into something that was truly meaningful and valuable to me. So I had to work on my belief system, right? I had to work on my limiting beliefs about money and what does this mean and so on and so forth to come to the point where I actually, first and foremost, decided and realized what was important to me, what do I want to work on, and what do I want to invest in. And I decided to invest in myself. And since then, you know, I've paid for all of the books, like even on Amazon now, you know, if I want a book and I you know, I understood also how the world works, how money works, how the exchange of energy works, right? Because when I'm paying for a book or a program, I'm paying someone for their work, right? So it's an exchange of currency. So anyways, this video is not about your money story and how to change your money beliefs, but this video is about helping you realize that if you have a problem in your life, let's say in any area of your life, but particularly today, we're talking about money and attracting great men and investing in yourself and how do all of these factors work together. If you have a problem in your life, let's say your biggest challenge right now is attracting quality men, is attracting committed, emotionally available men who have a healthy, you know, belief system about relationships, who are ready, willing, and available for a relationship, but who are also masculine, who are also successful, who want to play that protector provider role, who want to take you out on dinners and pay for your dates and organize and take you to Mexico and buy you, you know, perfumes and Gucci bags and stuff like that. It all starts with you. And it all starts with how willing are you to invest in yourself and in this area of your life. How willing are you to commit yourself to this area of your life? And how one way you commit yourself, well, the two ways you commit yourself to solving any problem is number one, time, and number two, money. If you do not have the time, which are most of my clients, because, you know, they're reaching their, you know, mid-30s, 40s, they want to solve this problem fast, then you vote or you dedicate with money because you don't have the time. Now, you can do it like I did, and I spent quite a few years working on reframing my beliefs, not only about money, but also reframing my beliefs about men, learning about polarity, embodying my femininity. This is something that I teach all of my clients in my Claim group coaching program. So if you have that time, then you spend it on that, and that will still require you money, right? Maybe over a few years of time. I've spent thousands of dollars in different kinds of programs over the years. But if you're looking for a solution that is going to help you attract committed masculine men in a short time, where you're going to be surrounded by women who have a completely different belief system. And this is one of the other reasons why you need to invest in yourself. The biggest investment is you, right? So when you invest in yourself, you are up-leveling. You are getting out of your current reality of dating, of relationships, of everything where you have been so far. If you want to get out of that, if you want to get out of your comfort zone, if you want to be around a woman, let's say your coach and the founder like me, who has a healthy belief system about men, who not only attracted her masculine man, married him, now we have a family, but also has a completely different reality of men, where men are great. One of my biggest messages is all about, where have all the good men gone? Well, I've lived in that reality. I've got out of this reality. How? By investing in myself with time and money. If you don't have the time, you got to do it with money. And that Gucci bag is not going to help you get there. That, a trip to Mexico is also not going to get you there. Because why? Because you're going to come back from Mexico and you're going to come back to your apartment where you're going to again be alone. And you're going to question, what's wrong with me? Where are all the good men? Why can't I attract the guy? And guess what? All of your girlfriends around you are probably struggling with the same thing, or are married to guys that they don't respect and can walk all over. Your parents are probably still struggling in their relationship, or maybe you don't even see that yet or understand that. Everything you're seeing on social media is confirming that belief system. So it's almost like you are stewing in the same pot of limiting beliefs about men, of girlfriends who bash men or who don't believe that men are good, and being surrounded by this message, right? So, and by this reality, because you, girlfriend, create your own reality of everything, but especially of men, because I talk about men and your belief system about men. So if you want to up level, if you want to, you remember that image, and I'm hoping we're going to show this image now. You remember that image of a small ball? I think it was from the book, what was that book? Your Zone of Genius, right? I'll find that book and link in the comments. There was an image of a fish bowl, right? Like it's a small fish bowl, and you are that fish in that bowl. This is where you are right now if you're struggling with men. Because you're watching this video, that means you are, or you're listening to this episode. So, and then from this bowl, it's almost like you're going to jump out of this bowl into a bigger bowl or into the ocean. When you invest in yourself on a high level, this is exactly what happens. And look, it can be quick like that. I've had women join my program where this was the first high investment in themselves, and they were literally shocked, and their palms were sweating, and I was with her holding her hand. So you can do that big leap, right? And I've done it. Like I've done the leap from like paying nothing to $50 to then, it was incremental, but at some point it went really high. So I was paying first nothing, zero. Then I started working on my belief system that I was investing $50 in a course. Then it was $100 in the course. Then it was $300. And I think at that point I made a quantum leap from investing $300 in myself in a course to investing a $6,000 for a coaching program. And from then it was just up and up and up. Then it was $11,000, and then it was $30,000. And so I made those almost quantum leaps. And guess what? Every single time my reality has shifted and I've up leveled, because I got out of my current reality of my beliefs about whatever I was dealing with, right? So I've had women who've done that, who have never invested so much in themselves. And in that moment, I held her hand and I looked into her eyes and I said, you're going to do this. How does that feel? That feels good, but it's scary. I understand. Feeling excited and scary is normal. I felt the same way, because all of these doubts are coming in, right? Because your brain wants to keep you safe. Your brain is telling you, no, this is scary. Stay in your fishbowl, stay in your comfort zone, because, oh my God, what if this woman is a scammer? Where's my money going to go? What if I don't see results? All of these things. And I stayed with that woman until she was comfortable and calm. She was still uncomfortable after she paid that money, but guess what? As soon as you invest in yourself on the same level, the moment you say yes, things start shifting. I have gotten messages after women have invested in themselves on this level that she comes home to her boyfriend and she feels a different energy, that things start working. She's walking on the streets and men start approaching her. Why? This is not magic. This is really all about how you start to view yourself, how you start to value yourself. You get the temporary hit in the same way when you buy that Gucci bag. You get the temporary hit when you go to Mexico for a week and you stay in a nice hotel. But guess what? You come back to the same reality from Mexico. And that Gucci bag is going to, that effect of like, oh my God, I have an expensive bag is going to go away. Because that's not working on how you feel about yourself. But when you invest in yourself on a deep level, in a personal growth program, for example, or coach or something, you don't have to join my program, although I believe that's the best one on the market, but you can work with somebody else. But know that the more and the higher, generally speaking, not always, but the higher the price tag, the higher the investment, the bigger the transformation. Because of the up level, because you think about it, you are going from, let's say, buying a $300 course that made some changes. You're jumping out of that fishbowl and you're catapulting, like literally catapulting yourself in a completely new reality, right? Like on another level, on a different reality where you thought this was impossible and it doesn't exist. And you are surrounded. The minute you up level and say yes to yourself, you enter a new reality where women think about themselves, first of all, differently, where they value themselves differently, and where they're surrounded by women who have a healthy belief system about men. When you invest in yourself, $5,000 for, you're not paying me $5,000 to help you fix you, because you are not broken, girlfriend. You are investing in yourself and you're saying, I am worthy. And I am worthy to be surrounded and be guided and be mentored and be coached by a woman who's done it, by a woman who is at that level where she invests in herself the same amount or 10 times bigger, let's say, who has attracted what she wanted and who lives the life that I want. And I want to be around that belief system, and I want to be around that abundance. And guess what? We have also a community, more than 350 women now, who are on the same page. So that's what I'm talking about. And only from that place, I believe, if you want results fast, you're going to get what you want. And so another question that I want to ask you, think of what kind of men are you going to be attracting as a result after you make that decision and invest in yourself on a high level. There's a difference between when you invest in yourself $50 and you buy a dating program that gives you, texting guides and stuff, and you start dating men, and between you saying yes to yourself and investing in yourself $5,000. Imagine and ask yourself this question: what kind of attitude, energy, mindset you're going to be showing up on dates with these kinds of men, right? If you've got a guy who you show up on a date and he's asking you to split the bill with him, or if he's, or worse, he's asking you to pick up the check, you'd be like, goodbye, I'm not available for that, because I invest in myself on a high level and I value myself on a level where I allow myself to be taken out by great men who can pick up the damn $50 check. Do you know what I mean? And so that's where you want to be. And so if you invest in yourself on that high level, guess what you're also investing into? You're investing into the future and your future partner that you're going to attract, because you always attract your equal in terms of your emotional availability, in terms of even your money mindset, although sometimes you don't realize it. And here I want to share a story with you, with me and my husband. I met my husband when I was 26. He's 14 years older than me, because he was 40. And so at that point in time, actually, I have already been on that transformation. I started investing in myself, and I remember just before I met him, I landed a job where I asked for twice as much money as I was making before. And for me, this was like super high level. I was 26 and I was earning a six-figure salary, traveling the world. And this is where I met my man, in Colombia. And so, you know, when we met, I mean, I'm not going to tell you the story of how we met because this is for another episode. It was a really funny story. He was a hell no and everything. But when we met, I didn't know much about him. And only when I started discovering him, I realized that this man, like, to be honest with you, we've been together for more than 6 years and we're married for 4 and we have 2 daughters now. We have a family, we live in a beautiful house and we run a business together. This man has had the most profound effect on how I view money and how I think about money and my lifestyle. So I met this man who has then catapulted me literally into a new reality. And I truly believe that your choice of a partner, especially if you're, well, it's actually equally both, not especially if you're a woman. Your choice of a partner, and this is equal for men and women, is the most important decision of your life, because it will dictate who you are and who you are becoming and where you're going and how you think about the world, how you think about life, how are you up-leveling and growing together, what kind of a family you're building, not only your immediate family, but his side of the family. What legacy are you building and what vacations and what lives, like it's everything. For me, this man, because I have done the work that I'm teaching now women, I'm investing in myself. I've met a guy who first, it didn't really seem like there was anything, I mean, he was pretty cool and I fell in love and he was super attractive. But in the beginning, I actually didn't realize that. And it's beautiful to not realize that in the beginning, because again, you're attracting your own equal. And as much as I have also catapulted him into a new reality, he, in other areas, he has done this this for me in terms of money. What I mean by that is, if you want, you know, because a lot of women, I work with professional women, I work with women who run their own businesses, like your money is good, but even in that reality, sometimes when you make 6 figures or 7 figures, sometimes you feel you're still at that level where you can't invest in yourself on that level, right? And this video is for you. This video is for you to open up. You might invest, you know, one of my clients said, well, I invested in a business coach or a career coach to help me with my career. Why can't I think like that about about my husband or about my partner? I want you to think exactly like this about this area of your life, with any area of your life, right? If you want results, you need to work with experts, and you need to work with experts who charge high, because they know, like I charge, high prices. It's a high ticket program because I know I can produce results and I know I can do it fast, and I know I can help you get from where you are in that fishbowl of attracting the guys who are like coming to your, don't want to pick up the check, coming to your place, not showered, asking you, do you have any snacks, like being frustrated, burned out, where all the good, I know how to get you from this reality into the biggest reality of the ocean and abundance in terms of men and what you really truly deserve. And I know how to do that in a short time. That's what you pay for, because that reality of what you want is worth 10 times. For me personally, when I met my man, it was almost like boom. I was literally like catapulted. And that's what you want from a relationship, or from a guy that you're dating with in a relationship and then marrying. You want to marry a man who will, well, he will always be equal to your mindset and to your emotional availability. But you also want to marry well, so to say, right? And so how do you marry well in these days where it's like there's no arranged marriages and there's no, like, your parents are not deciding who you're going to marry? By investing in yourself. Because if you invest in yourself on a high level, you're not going to accept less than what you deserve. Of course, you know, if you go through a certain process and do the work, and I absolutely do that in my client group coaching program, where you will lean back and let go of all of these defense mechanisms. I'm a strong, independent woman. Like, great men don't give a shit about that. Great men want to be with a woman who can relax, surrender, and let herself be taken care of, and who's doing what she loves. Whether you're making 7 figures, 6 figures from it, or whether you're making nothing of it and want to be a stay-at-home mom, if that's what your heart desires, right? And we're equal partners in that relationship dynamic. So when I met String, everything forever changed for me, and my money mindset and where we are today in our life. He constantly challenges me going bigger and making these decisions that I literally didn't have the balls to do because I don't have any balls. I borrow his balls. And so just think about that, because it's so important. And I'm just looking at my notes here, and only later on, as I have gotten to know him a little bit better, I realized and I actually learned that this man has been to a few Tony Robbins events, and I'm talking about intensives in Fiji, that this man has paid before $30,000 for a program that can help him with business and personal growth and everything. So he's done all that work, right? And if you want a conscious man, women always say, I want a man who's ready for a relationship, who's masculine, and who's also conscious, right? He has a healthy belief system about relationships, and he's always growing. Well, if you want a man like that, you got to invest in yourself, and you got to get to that level, right? So I have an exercise. I actually have an exercise for you right now, and I teach this in my program. Write down what kind of a man that you want, right? And then write down everything, right? Like emotionally available, write down your profile. Emotionally available, very successful, makes good money, conscious, is into this and this and that, like healthy eating, all of that. And then ask yourself, so do this right now, and then ask yourself what kind of women he's attracted to, right? It's probably going to be pretty much his equal, right? In terms of what he's interested in or stuff, even in terms of energy. And ask yourself, what is missing in you when you compare yourself to that woman? Chances are that your mindset, how you view yourself, and how you view yourself as a woman of value and worth. And one way, there's many ways you can do it, but one way that I really advocate that has helped me a lot is your level of investment in yourself. Because a $300 program is not going to change your life. And a $300 program is not going to revamp completely your mindset, help you get into your feminine energy and attract amazing men, and set up your boundaries properly. Men who find it pleasurable and consider it a gift of taking you out for dinner and paying for your dinner, which is like nothing to them. Great men are everywhere, and they're generous, and they show up, and there's nothing more exciting to them than to make you happy and to give you what you want. And men give differently. Some of them give with gifts, like for example, my man, he doesn't love giving gifts because that's not his love language. I have to teach him about that. But he's generous in so many other ways in terms of giving to other people and to our family. And he's really focused on being on that provider and protector. He has big dreams, big goals, and he's leading us towards that. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to leave you with this idea of where you're spending your money and what is blocking you from investing in yourself on a high level to solving this problem and this issue that you have in your life in terms of attracting amazing men. And I'm going to also tell you this right now. If this video has resonated and you're ready, and we have different options for you in terms of investing in yourself if you want to work with us. Apply for a discovery call. If you go to claim.com/apply, you can book a time, you can apply for a discovery call, fill out a short application, and you can jump with my team on a call and talk about what do we have to offer, what's your problem, and if this is the right fit for you, we're happy to work with you in terms of even making it happen financially. But do not waste time and invest in yourself and get yourself to the level where your reality with men and with yourself is truly amazing. And we've helped hundreds of women do this already, and I'm so passionate about this and so excited. And from the bottom of my heart, I want this for every single woman. And look, I know that this level of investment sometimes is totally not possible. And this is super valid, right? Like, we don't want you to go in debt to do this. Although sometimes women, women can put on a credit card, and I have done that, and you can do that too, right? If you really want that. That's why credit cards are there for. But we don't want you to, come and work with us and then have nothing to eat tomorrow, right? Trust yourself and make smart decisions, right? And maybe you need to save up, and maybe you need some time. And I've got a lot of free content everywhere on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, on the Medium blog. So for now, maybe you need that. But save up and have that as a goal for you, because trust me, everything will change. All right, thank you for watching this video, and I shall see you on our next one, in our next episode, if you're listening to this on the Claim podcast.